tell you, this is like, as if I don't feel enough. I'm up here. My goodness. Thank you very much. So I'm a little winded. I've been wanting to talk, I'm not the best with these announcements, but I said to Craig after the last webinar, I probably should tell them that I'm pregnant, and that's why I'm so winded. I just sit there and I'm winded. Or I could just tell them I'm running a marathon while doing the webinar. Maybe I was. Anyways, my name is Dr. Jenelle Kim. I hold my doctorate in traditional Oriental medicine. I've studied and practiced both here in the United States as well as abroad in East Asia. But really what I come here to talk to you about today, which I'm sure all of you now know, and I know I've spoken to a few of you face to face, is about my family, my lineage's BiBong formulas. What does BiBong stand for? Secret. I know a lot more people know what this is at this point. What does BiBong stand for? Secret. Okay. So we have to get that out there so people don't think it's something else, right? BiBong, what are the chances? It's okay. It catches the attention. So that's what it's translated as. BiBong is secret formula in Korean. These formulas have been handed down throughout my lineages. Throughout my lineage, why I say lineages, it really comes from two roads. I'm very fortunate, so grateful, and I hope all of you can share in that with me, which you can, because you have all these formulas in your hands. One road of my lineage comes from a royal family in Korea that dates back centuries upon centuries. The other road comes from a martial arts lineage. That's why we have formulas and products such as the salve and so many more that are available one day when it's time. That so deeply, of course, harmonize and rebalance our internal condition, whether it be from our internal tinctures with Revive to some of our topical products for discomfort, as well as our skincare line, Cannabis Beauty Defined. Amazing products, but why? I want to start by doing this. How I started my morning. How I really started my morning, and maybe that's why I watch these videos, and that's part of the reason I'm up here. I really started my morning by being woken up by my son, who said, Mom, look at me. I said, what? Look at me. So I opened my eyes. And he said, I just love you. He's 3 years old. I just love you too. That's not the best way to start a day. I don't know what is. I wasn't actually going to share that, but I thought, okay, I should tell all of you, right? We're like family. Then, I went to read some of the words of my mentor, which again, is my mentor who has mentors and goes on and on throughout the centuries. And those words to remind me of why I stand here today. Not that I need to be reminded, but I do. We all do. All of the time. Can be as simple as this. To live is to learn, and to give is to earn. I'll say that again. To live is to learn, and to give is to earn. Earn, in this case, means purpose. And I look up on stage, it says Genesis, people, purpose, passion. That worked out nicely. So, that's part of my mission in this life, and why, finally, for the first time, we've ever given out these BiBong formulas on such a wide scale. That is my purpose why I stand here before you today, with all of you today. You are helping me to earn. And how grateful I am to have the opportunity in my life to be able to care for my family, live in this world of reality, but also every single day know that I'm living a purpose and I'm earning in this lifetime. So on the day that I leave this earth, regardless of your belief system, my belief system, I know that I did something in this world to make a difference. Because that's all that we can do. The choice is ours. So, we'll begin by that. What is a BiBong formula? And what are my topics today? I have a slide. I never do slides, so let's see if I can figure this out. Let's see if I stick to them. Next. Nice. Okay. Gosh, I don't have that much time, but I'm just going off on tangents like crazy. But I do want to share something with you because I've never done this before. People often ask me, Jenelle, how did you get into Eastern medicine? Well, of course, I was born with it. I have told some of you, when other kids are running around looking for candy, I was going through the herb chest trying to eat herbs. Seriously. It's not like an endearing story I'm trying to tell you. This is really how it works. But I didn't necessarily know I wanted to get into Eastern medicine. to really devote my life to that and Eastern philosophy. In fact, my road was Western. I was heading into Western medicine. That's the kind of academic background I came from. And I was in Korea, walking down the street, and this is after I had started to realize, and it was really just like that. I want to study Eastern medicine. Because I started seeing the formulas with my family, just like you're seeing with the BiBong formulas in Kannaway. These formulas started to change people's lives on a level that seemed miraculous. And I started realizing, though, that Eastern medicine, which has been around for centuries, is not necessarily miraculous. It's very scientific. It very much is logical and very much makes sense. And as I'm walking down the streets of Korea, trying to think of this, I had just put together a PowerPoint with this photo. Right, so I thought, okay, Hojin, which is one road of where my lineage comes from. Walking down the street in Korea, Seoul, Korea, and there's some books on the ground, right? They're selling the books, I don't know, whatever they do, right? In Korea, however they like to sell books. And I'm walking, and all of a sudden this book, I'm not kidding, flies open. And I look down, and it's this picture, right? And I thought, well, my goodness, if that's not a good sign, whatever your belief systems are, coincidence, destiny. So, now you know why that picture will stay there probably for the rest of my life. So, BiBong, what I wish to show today is very important. And please, no matter how much information I share today, I'm going to go over some key ingredients today, which I think are very helpful for all of you, to further understand the power of our BiBong formulas within Kannaway. But what I don't want to happen is all of you sit here and think you have to memorize every detail. That's not necessary. We'll get there, as much time as we spend. What I really wish for you to come away with is why our formulas are so powerful. And second point, for as long as I've been with Kannaway now, we have made hemp and BiBong. And to me, it seems like there's a bit of a dual factor there. There's hemp and then there's BiBong, which means you have to understand everything about hemp and then try to understand everything about BiBong. And that's not how it is in my mind. That's not why I joined this company. Joined working in this company, I should say. So, I want to be able to give this to you. It can be very simple. Hemp is BiBong, meaning hemp is within BiBong. They are one and the same. Hemp is an herb, just like BiBong, and that's what I'm going to go over today. So you don't have to memorize both and try to make them come together. Hemp, which we will go into in just a second here, is one of the 50 fundamental herbs. Now this should give you a lot of power also in explaining what hemp is and what our formulas are. Hemp goes back 2000 BC. Just take a second to think about that. Right? So right now, all these new innovative things are coming up about hemp and CBD. But remember, it existed and was acknowledged 2000 years BC. And I'll go over that in a second of who founded it in China. Who found it and noted these significant benefits. Okay? So BiBong formula, just to go through, I will do it every single time, is a secret formula that has been handed down from centuries, throughout the centuries rather, from generation to generation. You all are the very first to be able to hand these products out, these many products out, on such a grand scale. You have the ability to change people's lives. What is more important than one's health? What is more important? That's right. You are giving people the gift of health. Not only do I want us to understand our products, but I want us to be able to understand our own bodies, become aware, educate ourselves, and be able to educate others, thereby earning our life, making sure we have a purpose. We will continue what all of the masters, herbologists, mentors, doctors, have dedicated their lives to doing. So, hemp and BiBong are one and the same. They're herbs, not two separate things. Okay, and number two, the products that you have, no one else in the world has. BiBongs exist out there. In fact, when you go to East Asia, people know what a BiBong or a secret family formula is. That's not in this country, it's very new. And we're the first, company of first, that I am aware of in this country to really start teaching people this. And I love that. Because that means we don't have any paradigms to break down yet. We're going to do it right. So, how's that for a lot of responsibility on all of your shoulders? But it's a fun thing, it's a good thing, right? There you go. Third point, I kind of went over Some of it, we're going to number 2 in a second here, but BiBong, I'll just hit it now. BiBong formulas. I'm going to go over the individual aspects of some of 9 key herbs in a BiBong formula. Herbologists and doctors throughout the centuries have dedicated their lives to one ingredient. One ingredient you can spend your entire life understanding about. One. Okay, so you can imagine how powerful hemp is. You can imagine how powerful when you put all the other key ingredients of the BiBong formula together. But, what I just said, what makes the BiBong formula? What is the secret that's been handed down and respected for so many years, so many centuries, is the fact that these individual herbs, these individual botanicals, ingredients, whatever you wish to call them, it's the most properly balanced formula. That's true herbology. That's what you have that no one else in the world has on this scale. It's a concept which in the Western world you can liken to synergism, which is the understanding that you have one individual ingredient, but when you pair it with another, it enhances the functions of both of those ingredients. They both enhance the functions of each other, functions that you would not see otherwise. That's why when you take CBD products alone, in comparison to CBD products with BiBong, there's no comparison. Have we all experienced this? Raise your hand if you've experienced the difference.
Yeah.
Okay. So, that alone shows you what you have in comparison to what's out there. Okay, so synergism. True BiBong, truly good formulas are individual ingredients that come together to help each other. We can go into a whole seminar on that, which I won't do. My time is running out as I speak. I just keep talking more every time I look at that. It's the opposite of what I'm supposed to do. Anyways. It is important because this question has come up though. In synergism, in proper formulas, why you put herbs together. Dui Yao is what we call it in Chinese medicine, the art of balancing ingredients. You can enhance the function, as I just spoke about, CBD and BiBong. You can reduce the side effects or toxic effects of certain herbs together. And then also you can pair. So 3 main concepts of what happens when you make a properly balanced formula. Pairing can mean this, and this is why I'm going there. You can take a very stimulating herb and a very calming herb, and you can balance out those functions. So, for example, people who are familiar with ginseng might say and have said, Jenelle, how in the world do you put ginseng in the Revive PM formula? Okay, I already see all of it. Okay, that's why I'm going here. I didn't make a mistake, I promise. So, why? Ginseng is one of our most, and I will go over this herb, is one of the most powerful herbs in Eastern medicine, in the world. I mean, I think it's pretty well known in general, no matter where you go. Like I say, you can have a ginseng plant that's $5, or a ginseng plant you can walk into an herb store in Hong Kong, and it's $500,000, $500,000. Why? Are people crazy? No. Because that ginseng root has so much power to do the #1 thing in people's lives, which is what? Your health. So many incredible properties in a proper ginseng root, including rebalancing one's body. So if you know how to take certain herbal ingredients at certain dosages and combine it with that ginseng, all of a sudden, the ginseng, which normally people take for energy, which you are too in your AM formula, can now start to rebalance the other way and calm you. There you go. It's like magic, but it's not like magic. Like I just said, it's very logical, right? We'll get there. So I hope that kind of makes it, from a principle, conceptual standpoint, why you can put ginseng into a PM formula and have it work. Because ultimately, like I said, spoken words can lie, written words can lie, but what cannot lie is your experience in the result. So, yeah. And of course, because we hand these, formulas out on such a wide scale, we have to make them a certain way. You know, in herbal medicine, that is one thing of what makes a BiBong formula. That's not always the case. Usually in herbal medicine, the way I went to school with, there's certain general formulas, but you always have to customize them to that individual. Well, BiBong, because they're so properly balanced, I say like the perfect recipe, right? Let's think about baking. What's a hard cake to make? A baked Alaska? Do people know what that is? Okay, if you look at an ingredient list, it's hard to make. If you looked at an ingredient list and it gave you all the ingredients of this baked Alaska cake, you can look it up after. I'm sure all of you can Google that and will know what I'm talking about. And you tried to go in your kitchen and you had no idea how to make it. You said, you know what, I have the ingredients. Because people say, Jenelle, why are you putting all your secrets up there? All the herbs listed? That's not the secret. You take all the ingredients, sit down to make a BiBong formula. Then, you pour all the ingredients in. 12 eggs, a cup of flour, I think a teaspoon of butter. I don't know how long to put it in the oven for. I'm not exactly sure the temperature. I don't think your baked Alaska is going to come out. Good luck. I say the same thing with BiBong formulas. True BiBong formulas start with the harvesting. Move on to the person finding that herb, meaning picking that herb. Ginseng, for example, like I said, you have to be a certain kind of person to find that wild ginseng on the mountain. In East Asia, it's known. I'd say mostly by the general public, definitely by true herbologists or people who understand medicine. You have to be a person of a certain mind and body to even find that ginseng root, or else the ginseng won't let you see it. Funny, huh? That's how powerful it is. You can believe me or not, but that's the way it works. I know you all believe me. That's how it works. Then, where that herb comes from, what region, what climate, what time of day. Then it reaches our lab. I'm going really fast here. Then it reaches our lab. We look at that herb, the quality. We adjust the dosage accordingly. The dosage is also our secret part. But that dosage doesn't even always stay the same because of what I'm saying. It depends on when that herb reaches us. I look at that herb. I know what quality it is. Then I know what to do. How each individual herb is processed. How to extract or decoct that herb to give us the extract which is within each of our formulas. That's just like the general understanding of how it works. Why it's so powerful. So going on from there. Now let's talk about some of the individual herbs. And the way I would really love to do this, and I started doing this on one of our webinars, so I don't have to go into as much detail, is to understand herbs as far as their classification. So actually I'm going to move forward here for a second. We'll talk about this and then I'll go back. Because hemp is one of the 50 fundamental herbs in Eastern medicine. Which means 50 fundamental, if you remember the slide just before, there's 3 classes of herbs that started back with Jenelle in 2737 BC, approximately, give or take a couple, depending on what references you look at. Those 50 fundamental herbs are the superior herbs. So hemp is one of them. A majority of the herbs within BiBong products are superior herbs. So again, what I want to give all of you today is a deeper understanding. So when you understand what you're putting in your own body and explaining to others what you are giving them, you have a more simple way of explaining. They're superior herbs. They're tonic herbs. Let's go back. So real quick, inferior herbs, I think this is pretty interesting to everyone. Inferior herbs are often what you find in Western medicine. Very important, but more specific. They are specific herbs for specific effects and specific ailments, often called throughout history poisons. We know this, a good example, of course, is if you have cancer, you get treated often by chemotherapy. That's a poison against, kind of, you can think of as a poison to treat. A very strong treatment principle, not for everyone. I'm not talking about cancer, I'm talking about in general. Then you have your middle herbs. They nurture nature or vitality. It's a little wider, a little broader, what these herbs are capable of doing. Okay, fast forward. You have your superior herbs. This is hemp, again. This is also a majority of the herbs within BiBong formulas. This is tonic herbalism. That word tonic, I'm pretty sure is a pretty commonly understood word. Is it? Does everyone pretty much know? Tonic is supplementing. It's all about tonifying, all about health and life enhancing. That's a good way of understanding it. The herbs that you hold in your formulas, Revive, Cannabis Beauty Defined, are life enhancing herbs. Why? Why are they looked on and are some of the most sought after herbal remedies in many traditional systems? Medical systems that have been around for centuries. Ayurveda, Chinese medicine, Korean medicine, you name it. Because they are able to help everything to heal and nurture life itself. That's a pretty big job, but that's exactly what they do. You can take them during long periods of time. In fact, they're supposed to be taken that way. Tonic herbalism, the Revive products that you have, Cannabis Beauty Defined, are supposed to be part of your daily regimen. We're human beings. There's one constant, no matter what we do, time is going to keep moving. We're going to age. That's why I don't really agree with the concept of anti-aging. There's no such thing. But I love the concept of longevity. Doesn't mean, we're not supposed to start breaking down at 30, 40, 50. We're not. Time is supposed to happen, which is fine. And that's where tonic herbalism, your Kannaway products, step in. Superior herbs. So like I said, a lot of you have seen these before, but these points, But the main points are, they're for overall body health. Very safe, very powerful. Are supposed to be used for more long-term use. One of which, now, once again, is hemp. Hemp and BiBong are one and the same. So let's go through hemp. Dr. Titus and the Kannaway team has made my job a little easier because they already have gone over so many of the incredible benefits of hemp. However, the part that probably has not been shared yet is that hemp goes back to Emperor Shen-Nung in 2737. His nickname was the Divine Farmer because he tried so many different herbs and then started writing down how that helps the human body. He devoted his life to doing so. Then, fast forward a bit, well, this is important. In Chinese medicine in China, it's called ma, which is translated as hemp, cannabis, but also numbness, which is interesting. They really just went by what they felt, they saw, that was the name. Very simple. Then in 1 AD, it was first referenced in the Pen Cao Qing, which is the first herbal reference book ever created in the world. And there was recommended for over 100 ailments. Then the renowned Huatou, in 140 to 208 AD is when he lived. And he's the first known surgeon of China, which means he's one of the first known surgeons of all time. And what did he use for anesthesia? He used hemp. He used cannabis. So those are some facts to give you even more power of the formulas that you have, in addition to everything that we already know about this ingredient. So you know the incredible ingredient, hemp. And we take all this, we build a whole company around it. Totally understood. It's one of the first 50 fundamental herbs. But you have to remember, in all of your products, you also have BiBong formulas with so many other powerful ingredients with that hemp. That makes it, so you can just write it, that blows my mind. Well, I don't know if you're all sharing that with me. What that does, why you're feeling the things you're feeling, why we're getting the testimonials we're getting. I might not be able to cover all of them, because technically I have 3 minutes left. I can talk really fast, but I don't know. So I have 9 herbs. I've gone over some of these, so I won't stay too long. I went over Huangqi, or let's just do this Chinese name, pharmaceutical, P, then the English name, and Korean name. If you all want to memorize all of it, be my guest. You can be with me in doing so, but I don't recommend it for all of you. So, astragalus, aside from the bullet points that you see here, let's remember that as the qi herb. Hopefully we all understand qi. I definitely don't have time to go over that right now. But ultimately, you balance qi and blood in your body, you keep everything flowing properly, and you have found the key to optimal health, wellness, beauty, happiness, you name it. That's the key. That's the fountain of youth. Huangqi, astragalus, is one of them. It's the ultimate qi herb. For example, I just want to share with you, lifting and raising nature. So you imagine, you put this in skincare, right? This is what herbs do. You put this in skincare, that same lifting and raising nature, when you combine it with other herbs in a proper dosage, do the same for your face, for example. Do the same for your internal organs. So when you look at these bullet points, that's how it's supposed to be understood. It increases circulation. Stabilize exterior. This is super important because this herb you'll find is in, of course, a lot of your skincare, but also revive. Stabilize the exterior. One powerful way of understanding what that means is it strengthens your immune system. I wanted to go into all of that. We'll do it another time. Why? But that's what that means. Really strong in strengthening your immune system and fluid metabolism in your body. Angelica, also in many of your Revive products and much of your skincare. Firming serum in particular. This herb is #1 for blood building. So you have your chi builder, your blood builder, equals ultimate health. Very good for men and women alike, but one of the #1 herbs for women in balancing their cycles, which is why you hear so many testimonials. My goodness, Jenelle, I suffered from these types of symptoms during my cycle, or these types of symptoms while going through menopause, and I cannot believe what these formulas do. This is one reason. Next is ginseng. I can't even. How am I supposed to do that in 5 seconds? Ginseng. This one is super, we all understand the incredible benefits of ginseng. So number one, truly strengthens the root of all of our being, ginseng. But this one, we can read up and I'll talk about another time in further detail. But ginseng, and one other herb that I did not put on this slideshow today, is licorice root. Another very important superior herb found in many of your formulas. Ginseng root and licorice root also affect the endocannabinoid system. So not only does hemp affect your endocannabinoid system, but your Revive products contain also, each one of them, AM, PM, Pro. Midday capsules, it does not, for a reason. But all of the other three that I mentioned contain hemp, ginseng, and licorice root that directly affect your endocannabinoid system in proper dosages. It does, but if you want a balanced formula. Moving on. Artemisia, or mugwort, is a very powerful ingredient as well. Also very good for doing so many different things, incredible for skin. In fact, this one and mulberry root bark, both of these are not superior herbs. But I wanted to give you an example of why it's important to add other types of herbs within your formula. Artemisia is known for enhancing the immune system. In fact, it's known to increase white blood cells. That's just a point of it. Super powerful. And mulberry root bark is a very renowned and respected herb in East Asia. Going back legends, it's said to represent both yin and yang natures. So I don't know, those of you who understand Eastern philosophy, and we all will at some point, so long as I'm standing up here a little bit. The Tao, do we understand? Does anyone know the Tao? It's said to be the tree of Tao, because it has both yin and yang energies. Basically, the whole universe started from the Tao. So, for those of you who don't know yet, that'll be another conversation. But that shows you, it's the cosmic, everything around us is the Tao. And that mulberry plant, which has very different species within, or different, my pregnancy brain. Basically, the mulberry plant has a leaf, has the root bark, has so many different parts, components of it, but ultimately it all comes from that really powerful, the Tao plant. Super powerful. And poria, cocos. This is a super important one for, in Eastern medicine, we talk about this all the time, phlegm. We all understand what that is, but Eastern medicine, this is such an important point. In fact, I was just talking to someone outside, came up and told me, Jenelle, my digestion. Okay, well, as far as I'm concerned, every single patient, every single person I come across on a daily basis, it's that middle. It's that middle that's imbalanced. And my lineage, the way we understand all of our herbs and all of the understanding of the human body, making it function properly, is when that middle doesn't work properly, which is why the Revive products are so incredibly important. It helps to rebalance your whole body, but it helps to really move that middle. And the middle is what stops phlegm and dampness throughout your body. Phlegm and damp, of course, when we cough, we know what that is. When we blow our nose if we're sick. But it can also be almost hidden to those of us who are not aware of it. And that's what causes a multitude of so many issues, particularly with digestion. So this is known as one of the strongest for phlegm herbs, which is in many of our products. So just to sum everything up, because I'm out of time now, for sure. We have our Szechuan lavage root, incredibly good for increasing circulation and oxygen. Also, many of these have antibiotic or antiviral type of properties, which are in the reference book. So you're able to say those types of things because there's clear citations as to why. White peony root, one of the #1 herbs for beauty and longevity. Also for women's health. And finally, Romania, another very powerful superior herb. Very powerful, very good for harmonizing the internal system, organ systems, muscle joints, you name it. It generates fluids and is very good in all of your skincare. For dermatology, it's been referenced for centuries for that. So that's the conclusion of some of our ingredients. So I hope that today, the formula is so powerful, so strong, why you have the ability to give people these products, experience them yourself and see miraculous events that, quite frankly, I've seen ever since I was young. These stories it never ceases to amaze me. However, it's something that I've experienced forever, and I'm so excited, I should say, that all of you are experiencing this as well. And also, please, all of us here today, please remember, hemp and BiBong are one and the same. It goes together. So when you go to explain it, you only have to explain one thing. Superior herbs. Our formulas are tonic herbalism, which ultimately help to enhance life. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for putting on that music. For all of you guys who don't know Jeremy in the back, he is